Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Martin with The Contoured Chemist. I have a secret. I have been secretly ordering mass quantities and trying, can you tell? One makeup brand for months now. I think maybe I discovered them back at the beginning of the year, February. And let me tell you, I don't own all of it, but I own a lot. So we're gonna do a full face. It is getting ready to storm like crazy here. Hopefully I don't have to turn off due to a tornado warning. But we're gonna do a full face of Vieve, and I'm gonna tell you guys my thoughts on the entire line now that you can get it in the US. So if you want to check it out, please keep watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. And thanks for being here. Okay, friends, so have you heard of Vieve? Vieve Beauty, the makeup line. I will be honest, I feel like I was late to the game. I started seeing some people talking about it and I was like, well, what's that? It's because it wasn't available in the US yet. Oh man. And the rain is here. Can you hear it? I wonder if I can still hear tornado warnings when my phone is on Do Not Disturb. Oh, gotta love the Midwest. So, Vieve. There are some things I have not been able to grab yet because they are still out of stock. And I've been stalking this line for quite some time. But you know what? I think I have enough for a full face. I know I have enough. So I'm going to share with you guys my thoughts. If you don't know, Vieve was started by a Scottish makeup artist named Jamie Genevieve. You've probably seen her. We're gonna channel our inner Jamie today and do a makeup look. I feel like I love watching her put on makeup. Maybe it's her accent, I don't know, but she is a delight. So let's start with Vieve's lip balm. This is called Bounce Balm, and it is scented in their vanilla, Vieve Vanilla, and it is lovely. I'm kind of a lip balm snob, I will be honest. Now, I don't feel like this is plumping or anything like that. Maybe over time. It's just very pleasant. Now, I will put this right at the front. If you do not like fragrance in your makeup, a lot of their Complexion products are fragranced. So just a heads up on that. I'm actually obsessed with the smell, and I think that's why I want to wear it so often. Like they have a candle in this scent. I think I need it. So all that being said, I'm not going to use very many products that aren't from Vieve, but one thing they don't have is a plumper that is enough for me and my shriveled lips. So I am going to use the Dr. Dennis Gross over the Bounce Balm so that my lips don't get super red. The entire perimeter of my lips get red, but I love that one to prep. Now let's go ahead and prep Complexion. So the premise behind her line is a lot of skincare infused complexion products. They have Skin Nova, Skin Dew, which this is just the tiny one, and then also their Lip Dew. And all of these have really great ingredients as far as hydration and long-term benefits from this type of complexion product. So this is more of like a primer. I would say I call it more of like a hydrator. So you can use this in place of your moisturizer, your lotion. But what I love about this is Skin Nova Instant Radiance Primer. It has this beautiful universal kind of glow to it, and it rubs in completely. It's not tinted enough that I think it's going to look dark even on lighter skin tones, but it smells so good. This stuff is very hydrating. So sometimes I will be honest, I'll do my skincare in the morning, and then later when I'm actually putting on my makeup, my skin needs help. Like I put on sunscreen earlier in the day, but my skin looks dehydrated. This will wake it up. A little goes a long way. And I'm just gonna use this as like a skin wake up-er. The radiance it gives, just, it's not, I don't know. You guys know I love a glowy finish. I don't feel like this is glittery or too shiny. I feel like it's just enough of that radiance underneath makeup that it makes your skin look alive. That's all I want. I don't want anything to emphasize like the look of my texture or pores, but the hydration of this is next level. Now they do have another one that is a primer as well, and it comes in like a tub, and it is still out of stock. I've yet to try it, but you better believe, spoiler alert, they do everything very well. There's a reason why I placed my first order, I tried it, and I wanted more. I lost track of how many orders I've placed since February. I did get a couple of these in PR, but the rest of it was all purchased myself. So just so you know, it is one of those things that like once I try a line and everything is good, if they have a new launch, I want it. So they just launched a new lip product. Yes, it is on its way here. The only bad thing is that this is a UK based brand, so shipping takes a little longer and my patience is not my forte. They also have this Skin Dew. Now this you can use as like a highlight, which this one doesn't dry down and set. To me, I like this one. I'm gonna try to use everything I have to the best of my ability so that you guys can see it. This one also way more glowy. All right, so if you want, like for me, maybe I just want a little bit more illumination. Maybe you don't want your full face glowy, but you want it under your makeup to still kind of show that glow through on like certain points of your face. This would be your girl. So they have a giant tube. This is the travel size. And I will say a little goes a long way. And so I don't foresee myself, unless I was putting it on my full face, I don't foresee myself needing a huge one. It would last forever because I just use it on the high points. But really beautiful universal glow in the Skin Dew Glow Multitasker. I will say sometimes I get a little confused by some of the names because a lot of them sound very much alike. I emptied my basket so I can lay everything. I have a lot. So let's go ahead and get right on into Complexion now that this has had time to do its thing. Look how beautiful and glowy that is. Like, I feel like I could wear that without foundation, or if my skin just needs that like glow factor. I have 2 brushes from them and I definitely want more. I really do like these. The foundation brush, this is their 117, and then the Conceal and Prime 119. I love this brush, the size of it for the eyes and like around, so good. For some reason there are no brushes on the website right now, so I don't know if that means they're sold out. Again, when I try a brush and it's good, then I'm sure the other ones are too. I love brushes. So I have 2 shades of the Complexion Balm. Now this is their foundation. The first time I ordered too light, too warm for me. So I'm gonna be going in with 230. This is the Skin Nova Complexion Balm. I don't know what to call this. I know it's their foundation. This is their coverage, but I feel like this texture is me in between a skin tint and a foundation. The texture is lovely. It's very glowy, very hydrating, much like their Skin Nova line. And it definitely gives a beautiful glow to the skin. It gives more coverage than a skin tint, but I would say probably less than like a foundation. One of the cool things and what drew me to wanting to try it in the first place was seeing kind of their hacks using this. And they do have the Modern Radiance Concealer. And in order to get like everyday coverage, she would just use Skin Nova. She would add in a little bit of concealer if she wanted to amp up the coverage. And my very favorite hack, which is what I think I'm gonna do today, is add in the Nova Glow Liquid Light. This is their liquid highlight with the Complexion Balm to give like that overall radiant, glowy foundation. And let me tell you, it is my favorite. If you guys probably want to see this on its own, I'm just going to put a little bit of this on this side so you guys can see what kind of coverage it gives. Now, it's definitely a buildable coverage. I feel like I can even do a no-no and like go straight on the face and blend this out without any issues. And I do feel like you can thin it out. You could probably even mix in some Skin Nova with it to thin it out. The formulation is so, I don't know how to describe it, well formulated in a way that like I've never had pilling, I've never had issues over any skincare or mixing it with other makeup brands or anything like that. It just gives a really beautiful finish that I feel like I love, that I can have products that can mix with other things within the line and be really customizable depending on what I want for the day. You guys know I love that. So there it is on its own with just the Skin Nova under it. Then if I wanted to mix in a little bit of this liquid light, I'm just gonna roll this doe foot and put a little bit on my hand and then mix. And again, this foundation also has that same scent. So I'll have to look up and see if I can find the notes of like what it's supposed to smell like, but it smells so good. I'm not one that usually likes fragrance, but this smell is divine. Okay, so this is the side with the liquid light mixed in, and then there's without. So you can tell it didn't affect the formulation at all. So pretty. I'm gonna go in with none of the glow. So some areas of my face, I'm getting a lot of texture on my forehead due to baseball season. I wear a hat, obviously, anytime I'm outside for long periods of time. And that means I break out on my forehead, unfortunately. Where my hat sits, I really need to like spray my hat down with hypochlorous acid or something. So it's also really buildable, so you can just go in with more where you need it. Blends really easily. So I'd say the only caveat is, do you like fragrance? Otherwise, there's nothing I don't like about this one. So I have been testing Jamie's trick. This is what she uses to prime her eyes, which is their eye wand. It is their eyeshadow sticks that do dry down. They're matte. They are long wearing, creaseless. They're really great. So I got just a very neutral shade. This is the shade she uses just to kind of even out her eyelids. And I was like, that would be wonderful if that would work for me. So for me, no eyeshadow primer, which is a new concept for me. And as long as I have no foundation or no concealer on my eyes, I can use these to prime, and they work really well without creasing or getting oily or breaking up, which my very oily eyelids tend to do. So I have been loving this, and I can just use this conceal brush, and it evens out, color corrects, and again, gives me a really good base. Now I will have to powder this and get it to set before I go in with eyeshadows, but Sand is the color I'm using. They have one lighter, they have one darker, which I'm waiting for. It's been out of stock. And I just ordered a new shade that came out, which is a rose shade. I'm telling you guys, when I find something I love, I buy it in every color. Lord help me. Okay, so that's my eye primer. eye primer done. Now I'm gonna go with my concealer. I would say if I had to pick one thing out of the entire line that I wasn't 100% sold on, it would be the concealer. Now, that does not mean it's not a good product or well formulated, but it is a high full coverage concealer. I have very mature skin, right? And I am not a huge fan of concealers under my eyes. I feel like they all age me, and the more full coverage they are, usually the more drying and cakey they look. Now, I can use this on areas of my face fine, but under my eyes, it's too heavy for my eyes personally, but you guys know that's my problem area by far. But here's how I can use it. Again, these are great formulas that can be mixed. I'm going to just roll the doe foot on the back of my hand and get a little bit of product. I will say that this tube will last me the rest of my life because of how very little I need. So I'm gonna go in with, actually gonna go in with my lighter Complexion Balm shade because it is a little warmer, and I'm going to mix, and that warmth will kind of help color correct underneath my eyes as well. But I'm gonna mix the two, and guess what? It thins out the formulation, so it's not so full coverage for me, and it actually adds some more hydration because anything with that Skin Nova name is very hydrating. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give myself a little bit more coverage in areas that I need it. Like I have a blemish and some breakouts. I will say the concealer gives very high coverage. So if you're looking for that, if you like a full coverage concealer, it's really well formulated. I would rather have a little bit of depth peeking through my concealer as long as it sits nicely on the skin. So I don't want my concealer to ever, like I would rather have a little bit more sheerness and it like hydrates and looks smooth under my eyes. So that's just my personal preference. And I feel like this gives plenty of coverage, and I barely used any of that balm, but where I have more dark spots, just gonna kind of press that under my eye, and then I'm gonna pick up a little bit for the outside corner. So when in doubt with concealers, don't go straight on the face. I have used this enough times where I kind of know how much, especially when mixed, but then pick it up from the back of your hand and really prime that brush, get it in the brush, and that way you can just slowly kind of build up and use less product around the eyes. So no, I can never like take this doe foot and just go in and start swiping on my face. That doe foot would be enough for like 5 applications for how I just showed it. I find everything in the line to be really easy to use, and you know, whether you know makeup or not, except that concealer is a little bit heavy for my personal preference, but I feel like concealer kind of is, right? At least around the eyes. Now, look at that. You can tell how much coverage that gave, but if you look up close, it looks a little heavy. Now, concealers can do that. I am gonna kind of pick up a little excess with the sponge. Now, I don't have their sponge. Theirs is black. It looks almost just like this one, but I am going to, and their makeup also goes on really well with a sponge if you prefer that over brushes. All right, now that my face is nice and flat and evened out, let's go in with some bronzer and warm it up. The Vieve Modern Radiance Cream Bronzer, I have the shade medium. This bronzer is beautiful. Now, I will be honest, looking at the swatches, I was like, it looks like it's gonna be too warm, but something about this melts into your skin. I am gonna use the Mario angled brush because I feel like it is foolproof. Just kind of tap in and then tap on where you want to warm up the face. So I'm gonna go along the hairline and see how like natural that looks. It melts in. There's like, I saw some other videos of makeup artists comparing this, saying this is better than the Chanel. And I'm like, well, I don't have the Chanel, but I can tell you, this is beautiful. It gives like a little bit of a glow, but I don't know, it doesn't have any sheen to it, but it is a cream. Obviously, I'm a little partial to creams. I love me some creams, but I have their powder bronzers too. I will show you. But I am gonna use this to kind of carve out the face. They do not have a contour. They do not have a whole lot of options in the cream bronzer. I think 4. But this shade is more universal than I thought. It's really pretty. You just cannot tell by looking at photos online. And I love the packaging. I would say the packaging of these products, like if I was to ever have a makeup line, I would want it to look like this. It is beautiful. Like, look at this powder. Is that not beautiful? Like, everything is stunning. That's probably one of the things that drew me to it in the first place, to be honest. I love the packaging, and I'm a very aesthetic person. Like, give me all the beautiful packages. I was a little hesitant about their powder, the Modern Powder Perfector. This is the shade medium, because I'm very picky about powders. But let me tell you, this powder is good. So I am going to press it under the eye before I start getting creasing. This is the Vieve Beauty 113. And I am gonna go ahead and powder that eye wand so it's nice and set. And just do the center of the face. And this is just a lovely powder. Now, for me personally, I don't think I'm so glowy that I need to set everywhere. I feel like I've been testing a lot of sunscreens where I'm like, ooh, I need to set that. So I don't think you have to, but I am gonna go in with their setting spray in a minute, which will take away that kind of powdery finish. Since I do have to go outside for baseball, I'm gonna powder my full face. But let me tell you, you powder with this, your makeup is not going anywhere. Very good. I'm very impressed with this powder. If I had to pick my favorite product from the entire line, it might be their blush balm, Sunset Blush Balm. This is a luminous liquid blush, and this color, Piazza, beautiful. Now, you guys, I love a liquid blush. Don't get me wrong. Like, it is beautiful. This is the most pigmented liquid blush. Like, a little goes a long way, but it's so buildable, and you could use this in place of bronzer if you like to blondes. This color is beautiful. So I usually just do like 2 dots on each cheek. Just watch. It is so pretty. It definitely has those like bronzer vibes that you can see the luminosity that added without, I don't feel like it is shimmery though. It isn't, no, it doesn't have shimmer in it, but it is like, if I want my cheeks to glow, granted, I know I put a lot of glow stuff on, but like, these are like a stain for your cheeks, and I do find them very long wearing, although I think to get the best longevity, I will show you what I do. Because again, I have tested these a lot. I have used these as blush. I love the kind of sheerness to them. Oh, they're so beautiful. Like that color. Yes, now I want every color of this. This is the only one I've tried so far, but I love the color. Love it. So once that's on, I'm gonna go ahead and set my bronzer. I was very excited about this concept. Now, I've showed you so far the powder and then also this. They have refills. This is a dual pan matte bronzer, and I love that you get 2 different undertones. Like this was one of the first things I bought and I was like, beautiful. They have like light, medium, dark. I believe this is medium. Modern bronzer, bronzing duo. I love this one's a little bit lighter, warmer. This one's a little bit darker, cooler. I've used these for eyeshadow more times than I could count, but they give the most beautiful tone. You can mix them together. I have nothing but good things to say about this formulation. It sets your bronzer really easily. I do like using this darker tone to almost carve out and give a little bit more depth, if you can see that, since it is cooler in tone. Since there is no contour, you could definitely contour out your face with this cooler shade. I just love a good versatility, and they have refills. I love that. Yes, and I bought the sweatshirt because it has a really amazing saying on the back. I was grateful, and I just wanted to bring good vibes. And I will say, it is the most comfortable hood. I think it's the most comfortable hoodie in my closet. It's like a thinner, more lightweight hoodie, which is perfect for spring, but it's like it doesn't choke me. I have this thing about hoodies that are too tight around the neck, and it doesn't choke me. It's not too thick, but it's not too oversized, but it's not tight. Yeah, she did really good. She did really good. Okay, let's finish up the face. So I have this powder blush, which is the Sunset Blush in Rosa. These are very pigmented. So this is their powder blush. Let me just show you for a powder. It's very pigmented, but it's not so far off that it changes the color. So I can go in and I tend to kind of set this lower part of my face so that up here stays nice and glowy. But you see how I kind of deepened it, but it set it in place. I know that blush will last all day and all night because we have a late game tonight, but I was sent this palette in PR. This is the Vieve Dimension Face Palette in Twilight. It has 4 different things in it. I haven't even taken the sticker off yet. It has a highlighter, a bold blush, a intense blush, and a normal blush. I don't really know the difference, but color-wise, so beautiful. Like that would have looked really good over, I think I've worn it over these all. This one gives a nice pop to the cheeks. I'm not a big powder highlight person, but this would be really good for like inner corner, under brow. So it's a really fun palette. Let's go ahead and put a little bit of this purple, maybe like right on the inside to upper part of the face for kind of that bright springy pop. It's so pretty. If you wanted to go out for like more of a dramatic nighttime, I would say go in with the deeper one back here by the hairline. My gosh, do I have blush blindness? Yes, yes I do. I do. I apologize. You can blend it out with some bronzer if needed, but so pretty. Look at that cheek. Love it. I might not be able to go as bold with the eyes as I originally anticipated because I put on so much blush, but that's okay. That's okay. So I already used this once, but let me just tell you, ooh, this and the liquid blush, this is one of my all-time favorite. I'd say if I had to pick an all-time favorite highlight illuminator type situation, this would be definitely in the top ones of all time. Now here's why. I am not even a blinding highlight type of person. This is the color Holy Chic. It's a very wearable color, I feel like, for many, many people. But never have I found a liquid highlight like this that dries down and sets. Like, it looks so, like, it looks beautiful once you put it on, but then once you let it, like, set on the skin, it is so natural and it doesn't budge because it sets. And I'm like, what a concept, right? I feel like I have so many of these type of products, but they don't set, and I can usually feel it. Either it's sticky or tacky or it's a powder, and powder tends to emphasize my lines. So another product that, much like the concealer, and they look like they're in similar tubes. This is gold and this is black. Huge doe foot, gonna last me forever, okay? So I'm gonna wipe some off and show you. You can use a sponge, you can use your finger, but I'm gonna kind of just use my finger so I can get it not too close to my crow's feet. And I'm telling you, once this bad boy sets, it is so beautiful, so beautiful. Now, another reason why I like this is because I love the inner corner highlight, underbrow highlight. Love that look. It brightens my eyes tremendously, but it never lasts. Like, I look an hour later and it's gone because either I've rubbed my eyes or whatever the case may be. And this I can use in those areas and it doesn't go anywhere. So there are a lot of beautiful highlights on the market. This is another product that they have another color that I want and it's still sold out. I have a long list of things that I want from them that just aren't currently in stock. Look how pretty that is. Like, I am not a blinding highlight person. I am a natural, it's gotta be mature skin friendly. This checks all the boxes and this color is fantastic. Oh, I feel like it is so universal. Look at that. So good. So they don't have any brow products yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows so that way I can highlight under my brow and be done with that. So I went ahead and used my handy dandy NYX brow pencils, the powder louder and the blade and shade and Rare Beauty eyebrow gel. And now I'm gonna use this tiny little rougher. This is the 23, and I'm just going to take straight from the doe foot. Look at that. I love how precise and how easy this blends. Going heavy there. Ooh, too heavy there. Blend it out. So easy. Love it. I highly recommend this. And if you like a liquid blush, this one for sure. I feel like all their powder products are really good though as well. And I'm not a big powder person, you know? So complexion is done. Before we get into eye makeup, I'm gonna use the last part. This is the Vieve Invisiveil Setting Spray. I know this has won a bunch of awards. They call it an ultra lightweight transfer proof setting spray, 16-hour wear. Now, I've been working on a setting spray video, which is coming soon, and you will see. This is actually one of my very favorites of all of them I tested. So this does have polymers in it, film formers that are going to actually hold your makeup in place, but it also is a very hydrating formula to melt your makeup and get a good blend, take away the powdery finish. Now, I will say sometimes I try this and then I get a little too shiny in spots, so we're gonna see. Oh, that smell. I think that's what keeps coming, making me like reach for it some more and more. It's like I'm instantly happy. I love their smell. So good. Okay, so I'm gonna let that dry. A little eye makeup. Now, I originally bought this one. This is their Soul Shadows Quad in the shade Guilt. Now, I have been wearing these two. You can probably tell by looking at, they're big. These are big shadows, right? I've been wearing these two neutral mattes on repeat on my eyes like nobody's business. I feel like it's just a little bit different than other ones I had in my collection, and they're so good. I will say, mature eye people, listen up. If you do not like glittery fallout shadows, not that these have fallout, but these two are beautiful, but they have glitter particles in it. I don't know if you can see that very easily. To the fact that like if you are putting it on haphazardly, you will find glitter kind of on your face. So not that saying I can't wear them, but to me, they're not the easiest for me to throw on for a shimmer on my lids. So the colors are beautiful, but there are little bits of bigger, I don't want to say big, they're not big pieces of glitter, but there are almost pieces of glitter within the shimmer. So just keep that in mind. And that is the Guilt palette. Obsessed with this case though, obsessed. So I was a little nervous to try other eyeshadows, but I was sent this one in PR. This is the Muse palette, and these suckers are gorgeous. So let me just show you. Can you tell how big these are? So in comparison, they're a lot bigger than this quad. These are large, like these are slightly smaller than blushes for a face palette. These are gonna last me a long time. I am obsessed with this color and tone, and I literally cannot stop wearing it. These shimmers, there's only 3, Divine, Finery, and Regal, are not the same consistency. They do not have those glittery pieces that the others do. These are so much easier for me to just throw on with my fingers, call it a day, no fallout. Beautiful tones, beautiful. But the mattes in here are next level stunning. The reason I picked this palette was because of all these pinky, mauvey, purpley tones that I'm having a moment, and they're my favorite to wear. So we're gonna do a quick eye look using these colors. I have no idea what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna go ahead and do one eye so that I can get my thoughts together, and I'll be back to show you what I did, and we'll do a tutorial. Okay, let me show you how I got this eye look. It was a little hard not to use lots of these shades because they're so pretty and I'm obsessed. So first of all, I had another eye wand. This one's in the shade Hazelnut. So the first one that I used as a base on my eyes was Sand. This one's a lot deeper. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this one just on the lid to give some depth. Blend it out. And I have been loving this for like a one and done eyeshadow look, or just to run like along my upper and lower lash line. Those eye wands are beautiful. Okay, next I'm gonna take my current favorite shade of all time, which is the shade Beau, which I feel like looks very neutral in the pan, but I don't know what it is. It pulls a little rosy on me, and it's like, oh, it's just the perfect color. So I'm just gonna put this all over my lid. I've been wearing this as like a one and done eyeshadow on repeat ever since I got this palette. I feel like it looks so different on me than it does in the palette. If it's more wearable, then you might, I don't know. I'm gonna run that underneath the eye lash line as well. And that's been kind of my go-to eye look. But since I want to show you guys how to use these other colors, let's go to this one. Then I took the shade Source on the outer corner and just kind of tapped it on. I went a little bit with Mystic, since it's a little bit cooler, into where my actual socket is, so that it kind of adds a little bit more shadow right there. I took Peony all the way up to help blend. And then I took Love, the very top of my hood, to just make sure I have like a nice ombre blended transition, since I have very large lid space. Going in with more Peony just on the inner corner to kind of brighten up. Then I'm gonna use this Divine, which is a shimmer, and it is very bright, almost cool in comparison to some of these other shades. So I'm just gonna put a little bit on. You can kind of tell it's very stark. So I put a little bit on, then I blended it out with Peony, so it was more subtle and, again, less stark in comparison to the other shades. This is actually like a very pale pink shade, but it's not, it doesn't really translate to pink at all on the skin. It just looks lighter. And then I couldn't not put a little bit of this Regal on, so I just popped right on the ball of my eye. And then again, a little bit more Source just to kind of blend that out. Now, if you've ever seen Jamie Genevieve's looks, she is notorious for a dramatic wing, and it looks so good on her. I had to buy the liner, see if I could do it. I am not a dramatic wing person. I would love to be, but like, my eyes are just way too mature for me to pull off that look. But I had heard really amazing things about their Power Ink liner. It is amazing. If you like a liquid liner and you want a very fine tip, this makes it so easy to get, oh, as I have a cat hair, get in all the way to the inner corner. I actually got the dark brown color, and it is a beautiful tone, like very natural. This liner is actually one of the easiest I've ever used. I love this kind of tip though. That's usually what I'm looking for. I can see why it won awards. It's really good, really good. So after I gave my lash line a little bit of definition, I went in with this last shade, this deep color called Velvet. And I need my mirror. And I'm just gonna set that line. And kind of just smoke it out because, let's be honest, I'm not the most precise liquid liner person ever. But I do like to wing out my eyes with an eyeshadow in that color. Is gorgeous. It's like, can you guys tell why I like it? She's beautiful. So finishing out the eye look, I'm gonna go in with some Source on my bottom lash line. And then a touch of this Merlot on the outer corner. Curl. And then they have Modern Mascara. I think that's why I'm confused by names. Everything says modern in it. Everything's got the modern word. This is a beautiful mascara. I'll talk more about it when I do my full mascara try on, but it's one of my favorites because it's just really easy to put on. It doesn't flake, it doesn't smudge, and it removes so easily. It's really beautiful. Okay, so there's just one look with this Muse palette. They have others like in all cool tones. They have some really beautiful palettes, and I will say, you get a lot of eyeshadows, a lot of beautiful mattes that I could create so many looks with this one palette. It's been really fun to play with. Okay, my lips are still very hydrated, even after all of that talking and drinking with the Bounce Bomb. So I will say, last but not least, we have lips. Let's do a quick lip look. The one thing I don't have everything of is lip products. I did get this little trinket tin with 2 of the lip dews, and I will say I do want every shade of these because I love them that much. Now, I'm not a huge lipstick wearer. I love a good lip oil, lip gloss. I feel like this is like a very hydrating lip product combo. It's called a glossy lip oil. It is kind of like a hybrid between a lip oil and a lip gloss, in my opinion. Let me swatch the 3 lip liners I have. They are all very different. The formula is great. They go on really creamy, but they dry down and they set. So these are considered more of a long wearing lip liner. This is Brat. It's kind of a neutral to pinky undertone, more on the pink side. Then we have Aphrodite, which is this one, which is a cooler, more mauve undertone. And then we have Brat, which is more of like a brown, a little bit darker, neutral. So I'm gonna start with Bark. I like to use this one to kind of define my lip line. Since I dramatically need a liner, because I have no lip line definition. I have a lip line. I just don't have any definition. But I'm gonna use Jamie's trick, and she always kind of blends it out with a lighter tone. So this is Brat. So you still get that darker, neutral definition, and then she calls it sketching in the lip line. And so that way when you fill your lips with these, and they are more long wearing, it really does stay better. And since I have issues with my lip products staying, yeah. They also have lipsticks, 2 different kinds, and they just launched their powder, which is what's on its way. So I'll let you guys know once I get it. I have 3 lip dews. I have Straub, which is red, the original, which is like clear with like a golden shimmer, and then Rosa, which is the same as I have in the powder. blush, which they have the same thing, and even the liquid blush. Like a lot of the things they have, so you can coordinate monochromatic look if that is what you like. I'm obsessed with the original, I will be honest, but then when I feel like I need a little bit more color, I tend to like drop one of these in the center. So let me just show you the original. First of all, I don't know if this is Vieve Vanilla or if it's something else, but they have, again, I think it is the Vieve Vanilla. The same as the Bounce Balm, maybe the lip balm. So good. They have a fully clear one called Mirror. They have enough that I want all of them. So this is just clear, gives a little bit of shimmer. But if I want to add a little bit more of a punch of color, I typically like to put on Straub with just a touch for a pop. I probably should have put on Rose though, because it would go well with the eye look, but it's pretty no matter what, right? I don't feel like you could do any wrong with a combination of their colors. They're all so good. They tend to have really great, they don't have a huge selection of every single color, but they do have like, they hit the mark with the undertone. So I will say, I'm a big fan. I do think that sometimes makeup artists come out with the best lines, especially when they really know what their customers want. Don't have a lot of bad things to say. So if you've seen the brand and were curious about any of the products, there's a rundown of everything I have. It was a lot. Not the most affordable brand, but I will say you get what you pay for. It is in Sephora in the UK. They do ship to the US now straight from their website. I will link everything I talked about down in the drop box below the video, but I will say the quality is there. Are getting by product, formulation, performance, you're gonna find all of that within this line. I don't think you'll be disappointed in how any of their products perform. Work with other makeup brands. I've been testing it for months now with everything under the sun, and it all works incredible. Warned, it is slightly addictive. If you have any questions over anything I showed, just drop them in the comments below. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next week. Love you.